The conversation continues on Houston's Morning News with Matt Patrick.
KTRH News Time is 7:17. We're talking about faith and politics, and who better to talk faith with than Lakewood Church Pastor Joel Osteen. Joel, welcome to Houston's Morning News. What a pleasure and privilege it is to have you on this morning.
Hey, thank you, Matt. It's my pleasure to be with you guys.
All right, well, now I'm done. Let's talk about the book here quickly. I'm holding it in my hand. Every day of Friday, according to reports, 10% of us increase our optimism on Fridays, right? We just feel better on Fridays, right, Joel?
Yeah, that's right. I think, Matt, we're looking forward to the weekend, and, we just kind of let our guard down and relax. But, when I heard that statement, I thought, if we have the right attitude, we could live every day like a Friday. And I don't think we're really supposed to enjoy one day more than the other. Not that every day you're going to be jumping up and down, but I think you can enjoy every day.
Now, so you go through different ways of doing this, and I love some of the suggestions that you give folks. Know what to ignore, live without crutches, laugh often. That is my number one rule in life, Joel. You've got to laugh.
I know, Matt, as we get older, sometimes the pressures of life, raising kids, the traffic, we find we're losing our joy. But if you can just remember, God created you to laugh. When you laugh, the more I studied it, it's a healing process when you laugh. It relaxes you, it releases endorphins, all kinds of things if you can just keep your humor.
Pastor, I need to laugh when I look at the economic markets right now, because I think that some of these things really get to me. You go home and say, how am I going to continue to put food on the table?
I know, it's a difficult time these days, and I think more than ever, even if you're not laughing, if you can you have to come back to that place of peace and say, okay, God, you're in control. I'm not going to be overwhelmed. I'm not going to get bitter and discouraged. I think when we do that, and it's easy to do in these times, it just draws in more negativity.
And Pastor Osteen, you're absolutely right, and you have probably one of the largest congregations in the world, so obviously your message is resonating with a lot of people. So you are the exact right person for me to ask about faith in politics and those that are running for the number one office, not only in our country, but I believe the number one office in the world. So I'm going to ask you about faith and politics and how they relate to each other in just a second. Hang on for me. Lakewood Church Pastor Joel Osteen joining us here this morning.
Hear about it. Talk about it now with Matt Patrick.
Joining us this morning, and we are thrilled and privileged to have Lakewood Church Pastor Joel Osteen. And Pastor Osteen, let me play something for you and then I get your thoughts on it.
When it comes to school boards, it is very important that we don't have people saying, we need to make the Bible a mandatory reading requirement, or as far as them having like a mandated prayer at the beginning of every meeting. I am opposed to that. That
is an atheist, Pastor Osteen, and we're talking this morning about faith in politics. Is it important, in your opinion, that a candidate for president or even a candidate for a school board has faith? And do you think that as we look at the candidates that are running, that we should consider their faith and consider how they might govern this country based on their faith?
Well, Matt, as a pastor, I do believe it's important that you have faith, and I don't think that's the only, requirement to elect somebody. I think they have to be knowledgeable and skilled and competent and all. But, to me, it's especially in my position, I see what a role faith plays. I mean, I can't separate myself from my faith, so I would like to elect somebody that, that believes in God and trusts that there is a God. I mean, that's the way I see it.
And would it be something that you would look at, depending on how you believe someone should govern? And I think this is what many Americans will be doing. They will be looking at a particular candidate, and they will be finding out about that candidate's faith, how he believes, and how they govern. And do you feel that it's important for us in this election cycle to understand what their faith teaches them and how they might govern this country based on those teachings?
Well, I think it is, because I think the more knowledge you know about a person, the better decision you're going to make. And again, I think you look at the business credentials, you look at their past experience, but too, when I know somebody what their faith is, what they believe, but that's a part of their character, and I think that's that obviously will help us know how they're going to respond in crisis and how they're going to govern. So I do think it's important.
So, Pastor, one of the tough calls from many evangelicals is how you deal with Mitt Romney and his Mormon beliefs.
Yeah, I believe Mitt's a good man, and that he loves God, that he loves the Lord. Again, I think you have to look at the overall picture and not just say, okay, he's not exactly like me, so that rules him out. I mean, that's my personal belief. I do think that the bigger picture is what's more important. But the faith is important.
And Joel Osteen joining us this morning. Pastor, I thank you, first of all, for what you do. I thank you for all of the people that have been helped by you and by the Lakewood Church. Being relatively new to the Houston area, the first time I drove by it, I went, wow, there it is. And we are happy to have you on with us. Every day of Friday, it is the new book by Pastor Joel Osteen, How to Be Happier 7 days a week and not just on Fridays. Pastor Osteen, thank you for your time.
Thank you. God bless you. Appreciate it.